Yes, indeed. It's the CCRP update, and we are about to join Dr. Michael Abrams, who is online with us. Please unmute for me, please, Doc, so that we can talk a little bit about this whole business of happiness. Happiness is one of my favorite things. As a matter of fact, one of the weird things I've been accused of over and over and over is that I laugh too much. But yes, I mean, I'll stop, The endorphins, them feel too good. Doc, are you hearing me? Could you unmute, please? It's set for you to unmute where you are, if you can, please, so we can have the conversation. Yes? Hello? No? Okay. All right. So if you're just joining us, this is Palav on Radio Jamaica 94 FM. And this is the CCRP update. Gave you the announcements, and then we're waiting to join Dr. Michael Abrams. I see him in our Zoom room, asking you to unmute, please, so we can have the conversation, Doc. So we can get on. No? Hello?
I can hear you now, but I'm not I maximize the volume, but I can hardly hear you.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you now that you've unmuted. I wasn't hearing you because it was still on mute, and I was asking you to unmute. Okay. All right. So, tell us a little bit about your take on happiness. The first thing I'd like to talk about is, what is it? What is happiness?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the program, and it's basically a state of like well-being and contentment, but it varies from person to person. So one person's happiness may not really correlate with another person's. What makes one person happy may not really make others, feel the same way, but it's basically a state of mind, a state of contentment and well-being.
What accounts for this difference? The difference between from person to person?
You see, we're socialized differently. We have different personalities. We have different mindsets. So it's highly individualized. It's highly individualized. So, for example, I gave an example in the article.
Do you have a device on in the background? It sounds like there's one happening, so it's distorting what you're saying. Do you have like a radio or a phone or something happening? It sounds like there's
I have nothing in the background.
Well, I don't know where that's coming from. Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me okay now?
I'm hearing you fine. I'm just hearing something else, but if you can't control it, let's just continue the conversation.
I was saying, for example, someone may find religion and they find happiness because they believe there's a deity that cares about them, that there's an afterlife, that there is salvation. Some people might find happiness when they leave religion or leave the religion that they were attached to, because they may have a sense of freedom, because that belief system may have been restrictive or oppressive to them. So it means different things to different people. But at the end of the day, it's really a state of contentment, well-being.
Wow. That's a great start.
It's something subjective, is that something you can objectively measure.
Yeah, but that's the
beauty. It's intangible.
Yes, but that's the beauty about qualitative things, right? They still make for very great conversations, even though it's not everything you can count or measure, but that doesn't invalidate it, right?
No, definitely not, Jerry. I mean, when you're happy, you know it, man.
Yes, you're happy and you know it. And it, for me,
you're happy, you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy, you know it.
For me, I end up with a deep rumbling from my big toe, and it just comes out like a huge orgasmic laugh. Yes, I mean, that's me. That's happiness. And it's stopping the belly and rumble a little bit, but it's beautiful. Gratitude. This one, you mentioned in the notes that we had a little before, and I will double, I'd endorse that in every way, shape, or form. Through my darkest times, the things that have helped me much, at the top of the list is gratitude.
Definitely.
Talk to me about how that works, because that's a cross between emotions and actual manifestation of physical things too. No,
it's true. And that is something that there's actual research on, that people who have an attitude of gratitude, they tend to be happier and healthier than people who do not. And it's normal to be grateful for things that are obviously good. So, for example, you win a prize, or you do very well in your exams. You're grateful that you did well, but sometimes it's good to be grateful for things that are not so pleasant as well, because sometimes they are great learning experiences. I remember in the early days when I just started comedy, The second show, the first show I did was very good. The
Mm-hmm.
second one was not very good. I was the only one who found my routine funny. Basically,
Wow.
got booed off the stage.
Yes.
And that is when I started writing poetry
Mm.
because I wrote a poem about when I bombed. Then
Yes.
after started writing poetry, I started submitting them to the Gleaner, and the Gleaner began to select some as poem of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Gleaner asked me to write an opinion column.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the, I accepted the third time
Yes.
because
Yes.
I didn't really like writing essays when I was in school.
Right.
And
Right.
because of that, now I've been doing it for about 10 years. And because of that, that's why I'm on this program now, because people have been exposed to my writing, to my views.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are warped enough to actually agree with me and accept them. And I'm grateful for that. So I'm grateful to be here now.
Why is it warped?
That's for a whole other conversation, Jerry.
Because us twisted people need to stick together. We have richer lives. Yeah.
It is true.
I think if we all had the same sense of humor, nothing would be funny at all.
True, Jerry. It takes diversity, you know? It
True,
does.
true. You have to say it's what do him, but you think about it and you talk about it, and it serves a purpose. It's something interesting to do, right?
It is. And as a matter of fact, to find out people who have a sense of humor and people who are optimists
Mm-hmm.
tend to be healthier, not just mentally, but even physically healthier, because your mental health affects your physical health. That's another conversation, but it really does.
Yes, yes.
It really does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. My brain just rewind the tape them, and I seen a lot of them. You can tell how old I'm rewinding tape. Um, what about expectations though? Because we're not suggesting that you become, airy fairy and oh yes, and everything is wonderful and ha ha. That would border on irresponsibility. So you do it with a sober mind, put it that way. You can be laughing your head off and be really happy in a situation and benefiting from the endorphins and the camaraderie and the sense of community. But that doesn't mean you've let go of reality.
No, it doesn't. It's
How you
important to be
balance it?
real. Just to be realistic, man. I said that one of my favorite prayer really is the serenity prayer.
Mm-hmm.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can,
Hold on, drum
and the
roll,
wisdom
please.
to know the difference.
Hold on a man. We give the drum roll and then you give me the last one.
And the wisdom to know the difference.
Archie, hit that. Not the lick.
That's the kicker. No, that's the lick. Because sometimes we kill up ourselves over things we have no control over. So, for
Yes.
example,
Yes.
you don't like Donald Trump. Him don't win. Why you kill up yourself?
Absolutely.
You can't do nothing about that.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Yes.
You deal with it. You just don't watch TV for 4 years. You don't watch MSNBC and Fox and CNN, and you're good.
Mm.
So let's be realistic about things. Realize that all humans are flawed. So don't expect perfection from anyone or anything,
Mm. Or you can use him as an
including
example
yourself.
of how not to be. I mean, that is a positive way of dealing with something that could otherwise be. Because isn't that the root of a lot of really excellent comedy? Great comedy deals with a lot of quote unquote, I don't like the term, but it's used a lot, dark things then, meaning things that you're not necessarily celebrating, but there's enough in there. If you are, next one, mindful, you'll realize that's something in there that you can work with, don't?
Most definitely. And that is what happened. Even when I bombed on stage, I find that self-deprecating humor people like.
It's a sweet
Humans are
answer.
not nice, Jerry.
Hmm?
If you relate a story about winning a race and coming first and winning prizes, nobody cares. If
Yeah.
you tell them that you ran a race and you come last and your draws drop off, everybody will laugh. They love to hear when bad things happen to people.
I know. I know. I know we're sick that way.
Yeah.
But it's part of life, right? Yeah.
And as a creative, I've learned to create art out of, as you said, dark things, misfortunes,
Yes.
my own flaws,
Mm-hmm.
and it works.
Yes. Pain can be a powerful thing, on the good side.
Some of the most beautiful art has come out of pain.
Yes.
Some of the most beautiful songs have come from musicians who have been hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the greatest paintings have come from places of pain. So, I embrace it when I do feel it.
True, true.
And I know it's temporary. It will pass.
Art you. How does happiness ultimately affect us? Tell me some of the physical or physiological manifestations of it. Like matter is one thing, right? So you can touch, feel, see, whatever, but something there can probably happen not just on your emotions, but
Well, it's good
does it
for you.
also spill over into your physical wellness?
Yeah, it does. It is multifactorial, really. It affects your mental health. And by affecting your mental health and how your brain functions, it will help to make you more productive.
Mm-hmm.
And because it affects your whole energy and your aura, it will help you to influence others around you. When
Mm-hmm.
you're happy, it's easier for you to motivate others around you, to make them feel good as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the brain and the rest of the body are intimately connected, man.
Oh, yes.
If you are very stressed and unhappy, your
Mm-hmm.
body produces these things called stress hormones. And if you are chronically elevated, it can cause a lot of inflammation in your body and literally make you sick.
Yes.
So
Yes.
being happy affects your mental health, your physical health, and it affects the well-being of those around you.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in a house with someone and you're not happy, you're miserable all the time, it's going to affect them.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to
Definitely.
affect them and their mental health, their physical health, their well-being. So it's good to be happy, Jerry.
Somebody who is struggling with being happy in a time that is really challenging, what would be your last link for them? Just something
Try
they
to
can work
embrace.
with, not a solution to the world's problems, but just a gem to hold on to get there, because not everybody is even with us now where we're talking because of stuff we will never know about. We don't know about other people's struggles in depth, so we won't know where they are. They might be in a place where they can't even entertain the possibilities.
True. There's many different pieces of advice. For example, to try to embrace an attitude of gratitude, to focus on the relationships they have that are good, try to build and nurture those relationships,
Hmm.
try to have realistic expectations, and don't be afraid to seek help from a mental health professional. That's very important because we've stigmatized mental illness.
Hmm.
And many of us suffer in silence. Hey, Jerry,
Yes.
especially at this time of the year approaching Christmas, there are many unhappy people, you know.
Oh gosh, yes. What do the lonely do at Christmas? That tune there? That tune was became number one in God knows how long ago because of that very reason. So many people just get so. And there's a song named Blue Christmas, which is all about it. There's all about Christmas music about it, you know.
Hold on. Somebody's phone went off. 1 minute. Take this for me, please.
Hmm?
Sorry, Jerry. What you were saying?
No, I'm saying that there are even a healthy number of Christmas songs about it. Blue Christmas is about that. And what do the lonely do at Christmas? Yeah, many of them. This Christmas blues is not normal.
So I just want to encourage people who are listening to just reach out to others at this time, especially those who live alone,
Hmm.
you know, shut-ins. And, you know, Jerry, the funny thing, you know, Jerry, some
Hmm.
people you will never know they're unhappy because they wear a smiley face.
Yes, true.
Some of the people you think are the strongest people you don't need to worry about are the people you actually need to pay attention to.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
I've
we
lived
should just be
alone for an
kind to one
extended
another,
period
Jerry.
and I've learned to have robust conversations with myself. And then I share that with people and I find it so hysterical. I'm like, no, but I'm telling you, this is the madness that go on in my head. And
So
then
the
we both have a laugh.
conversations,
Yeah.
so the conversations you have with yourself, do you guys get along in these conversations or do you
Not
argue?
always.
That
When
can
I'm
be a
talking with myself,
problem.
you know, Michael, one of the favorite things, one of the things that come up most often when I'm talking to myself is, what could you talk? And
The
then
important thing is that you resolve these conflicts before you go to bed so that way you don't, you know, so you can sleep
absolutely,
well.
because usually something as acid as Kuyato results in a bales of laughter from both of us, both sides of my, ego and alter ego. Yeah, it's but continue to be happy, sir. Continue to, make the best out of every situation and continue to bring healing in all the ways that you do.
Thanks for the encouragement, Jerry. And as I said before, I'm grateful to have this opportunity to speak to you.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure
Yes,
to
bro.
read your writings and to hear you speak. Always a pleasure. Every time. You're
Thanks
a
a lot,
great
Jerry.
asset to this country, and we mean that. Delightful
Thanks, bro.
human being, Dr. Michael Abrams, always. And that was a wonderful thing mixed in with the music to have here. I hope you enjoyed it. From all of us at CCRP, whether we're just members or part of the team, we wish you an amazing week. Visit our website, ccrponline.org, or yeah, visit our YouTube channel. You can hear the updates again, updated there in the week after they have come. always brought to you by J&GI Silver Shield, the best choice for auto and property insurance exclusively for CCRP members. Contact Gallagher Insurance Brokers or J&GI for best value and a boatload of benefits.